Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. This should be my first video actually. And today we're going to go on a journey on how to make chicken quesadillas with some peppers and onions. I've got some sour cream. I didn't make that, I bought that. I also made the Pico De Gallo and I also made tortilla chips. So stay tuned and watch me on this cooking journey. I'm off. All right, let's start cooking. So like I said earlier, I'm going to be making something very Mexican Spanish like. So I'm going to be making my own tortillas chips from scratch, which I'm using the regular tortilla wrap, and then I cut it into like little triangular shapes. Then I melted 100 grams of flour, and then here I've got about 1 teaspoon of garlic, 1 scallion or spring onion, and about 10 drops of Tabasco. In here I've got Parmesan, like really Parmesan powder, like the hardcore dry one, in a powder form. And then I have 1 teaspoon of paprika and 1 teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of pepper. So I'm going to add all of that into here. And then that's like my seasoning for my tortilla chips. And then I'm going to stir that up. Yeah. And you get something a little bit like this. And when I've done that, I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil just to loosen it up. It's not like an actual weight, it's more like a science. Just to give it like a little bit of looseness, you know? And that's perfect. I'm totally in love with that. Smells good, simple flavors. Then I just throw my tortilla triangle. I use about, I think two round tortillas that look like this, and I cut them up. So I mean that's enough for me and Bass, but obviously if you're making for like a big group, 4 should be plenty. And that's about it. And then I'm gonna pop those in the oven at like 180 for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Okay, so here we have the chicken fillet. I'm gonna show you guys how to cut it. You cut down the fillet, making it into a butterfly. And then you release that. I just go from the side because you want a lot of chicken strips for the quesadilla. And then I chuck it into a bowl. I repeat that step with the other piece of chicken breast. I use 2 chicken breasts for this. And then for my marination, I have 1 lemon, 1 lime, the zest and the juice, 3 tablespoons of paprika, 1 tablespoon of garlic, 1 tablespoon of ginger, 1 salt, 1 pepper. Everything else will be down below, and you can check out the recipe yourself. It's very lemony, very paprika-y, and then I just rub it in like this, and then I'll refrigerate it and then take it out of the refrigerator when I need it again. My tortilla chips have come out. The first batch, I won't lie, I actually burnt them. So easy with I was like 10 minutes, and then yeah. So this is about 6 minutes, and then I flipped it over. So it was like 6 minutes like this. I flipped it over for another 3 minutes. They come out a little bit soft, but like after like what, cooling down about maybe 7 minutes later or 10 minutes later, they will be like hard. Moving on to the Pico De Gallo. So I have, I think it's 3 small red onions. And then, like I said, I have a little bit of scallions / spring onions in the fridge. But in the recipe below, it's not part of the recipe. I'm just going to add it just so it's not going to waste. So ignore that part. Then I had 3 tomatoes. I just took out the hearts, the insides of it. I didn't throw them away. I actually marinated them in olive oil, balsamic vinegar, salt and pepper, and gave it to Baz to eat as a snack. And then I have green chili. It's not super firm because it comes from my freezer. but it's going to add that nice kick. I have like 1 1/4, and then 1 lime. I'm going to zest it and I'm going to juice this lime. But I do everything in this little small food processor that Bass got me for Christmas. My first Christmas here. So yeah, last year. So I use this, and then I also food process everything individually. So I'll start with the onions first, and that in the food processor to get it to a texture that I like. Then I do the tomatoes, and then I mix everything together. And the cilantro, about like, a lot of people don't like it, but we love it a lot. So maybe like a small handful, to start off with, and then as I go, I'll obviously add more. And that's going to be my Pico De Gallo. So, like I said, I individually blended everything. This is the green chili, the onions, and the coriander. And this is the tomatoes. I used 5. So I'm just going to kind of, not all of it, a little bit at a time. Let's see what's happening here. And also just a hint, like if you want to have a really dry Pico De Gallo like I do, I always, after I blend my tomatoes, I kind of like strain them out to remove excessive liquid. If you don't mind that, then keep it. You know, it's obviously got some vitamins and stuff in it. But I like a really dry pico. So that's just me, my personal preference. Just kind of like mix that up until I get like a decent tomato to onion to green chili to coriander ratio that I'm looking for. Almost there. Just a little bit more. Bass doesn't like anything too oniony, so I need to be careful I don't go overboard because I love raw onion. I think that's fine for now. And then I'm going to start seasoning. I got a small lime. It's looking really good, this lime. Just lightly zest it into, I think 1 whole lime is enough. If you don't have a microplane, then I'm sorry, I don't know. Maybe a cheese grater can work for you. A really fine cheese grater. And I always get the insides as well. And then I will cut my lime in half and use my Mexican elbow. I don't know why they call it that, but I'm assuming because Mexican people squeeze a lot of lime. I'm going to do half the lime for now. Then I'm going to stir everything up and taste it first, and then see if I have to add the rest. Because the lemon zest is quite pungent. And that's it. Let's try. Let's try. Oh my. That's really delicious. Wow. I need salt and pepper, and then I think it's perfect. But I do need to add maybe half of this lime. That's delicious. That's perfect. The rest of the lime I'll use when I'm cooking my chicken. So nothing technically goes to waste. Hold on, let me get my salt. Pepper. Alright, let's try this out. Nice salt crystals there. That was a little bit like half a teaspoon. And just grab my pepper mix, which is black peppercorn, pink peppercorn, white peppercorn, and green. I think we need a little bit more salt, just a touch. And obviously I'm using my gourmet salt, which is really good. I mean, the higher quality salt, the better it's gonna bring out your flavors. So don't go cheap. If you can afford to use salt, then you can. Okay, let me taste it. There you go. And it's perfect. Pico De Gallo. Let's go. We're using red peppers in the julienne form and orange peppers. And then I've got some red onions and some scallions that are floating through me through this recipe. And then we have a hot pan, and then I'm just gonna fry it. It's gonna make hell of a noise. And then I'm gonna use it to build up my quesadillas, but this is about it. This is all I need inside. So I'll start with the onions. Just throw it in there. Food is sound, sound is food. You can hear it, it's making lovely noise. It smells good. This recipe has a lot of onion in the pico, onion in the quesadillas, but I believe that raw onion and cooked onion are two different flavors, so I'll always forever use a lot of onion. And then it's fine, I'm gonna just toss in my pepper mix, and then I'll cook that not till it's like really well cooked, just till it's soft, because I want a little bit of a bite when I bite into my quesadilla. And I'll do the same with the chicken in a little bit. I'll pan fry it, and I'm using my wok pan just to avoid using two pans. And I just leave that for like less than 5 minutes. Don't want to overcook anything. Like I said, I want a little bit of a bite. Sounds like rain, right? It's raining. Woo! Look at that steam go. Switch it off. I'm happy with that. That's perfect. Okay, I'm using the same pan. I didn't even clean it. I just put oil in it. And now I'm going to add my chicken, which I marinated earlier with a lot of lemon, ginger, garlic, and paprika. And then I put it in the fridge. So it's been chilling in this marinade for a bit. It smells very lemony. And I'm about to toss that in. It's a little bit of liquid, so I'm going to be careful. Ooh! Jesus. 10 pieces on 8. It's just gotta let it cook through a little bit. Now we're constructing the quesadilla. We're using a young Dutch cheese mixed in with mozzarella in here. And then we have my vegetables that I julienne, the onions and the peppers. And then we have my chicken. And then we have the tortilla. So I start off with a little bit of cheese. Just like that. And a little bit of vegetables. You want to get like a whole selection. I'm only making 3, so I need to make sure that it's enough for 3. Just a little bit more of cheese. And then some cup, aka chicken. Very lemony chicken, which I really love. Just layer it on there. Like so. I think that's enough cup. And I'm gonna start off with this pan over here. Oh, actually not this one. Put a little bit of olive oil in. You don't want to have too much oil, just enough. So I'll come behind with the serviette just to soak up any excess. And a little bit more cheese on the top. Yum, yum. And then that's it. That's one quesadilla ready. I lift it up gently like a baby. And then I place it in my pan. It doesn't have to be super hot, just enough to melt the cheese and warm up everything that's inside, slowly going golden brown. Alrighty guys, so this is the quesadillas. Look at that, nice and golden brown, all three. I've got some sour cream here, and then the tortillas also came out really amazing. Yeah, like I said, the first batch I burned, the second batch is much better. My Pico De Gallo. I'm gonna put everything on top of here, and then we're ready to feast.